Hello there everybody, welcome back to the Star Wars headquarters, and boy do we have a lot of information to go over in this video because DICE and EA just revealed tons of new details about the upcoming Geonosis DLC that's coming this month on November 28th, including our very first look at Obi-Wan Kenobi's animation. How cool is this? And then also, we get our very first glimpse at his Jedi robe outfit as well. Plus, we get a look at the ATTE walking animation. And then tons of details about Geonosis, including how each phase works in Galactic Assault mode. And our first look, or another look, at the Spider Droid with full details on how the Spider Droid works in Galactic Assault on Geonosis. And yes, you will be facing off against the Spider Droid on Geonosis, so that's going to be awesome. So let's dive into all these details. Let's first look at this Obi-Wan Kenobi animation first, because I know all of you guys, including myself, are dying to see Obi-Wan in action. And DICE posted this teaser of, our first look at Obi-Wan Kenobi's standing animation right here. And you can see he's just twisting the lightsaber, ready for battle. And then we have a look at his Jedi robe outfit here. And of course, he has two outfits, and this is one of them right here that will be releasing on November 28th. So let me know, which outfit is your favorite between the two? Is it this Jedi robe outfit right here, or is it this one right here, which I'm guessing is going to be the standard outfit that is going to be unlocked from the beginning? Let me know, guys, which one is your favorite. But it's really cool to see this first look at Obi-Wan Kenobi. And this is the only glimpse we've gotten of him so far outside of the, teaser that we got of Geonosis in that General Grievous trailer. And then, of course, that one image that showed him as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button if you cannot wait to play as Obi-Wan Kenobi when he releases later this month. Now, there's a lot more details in the community transmission that was released today about Geonosis. I'm going to read over that community transmission for you guys right now. So let's take a look at that. And I'll be showing some images as well on the screen as I read over the community transmission, so you guys can take a look at that. But let's dive into it, see what DICE had to say about Geonosis and all of the stuff that's coming on November 28th. So it says, incoming transmission, many of the Galactic Assault maps we have in the game conclude with final fights that take place within relatively small confined spaces. The goal behind this is to create as much intensity as we can. We wanted the final stages of a map to feel like all-out warfare. This has been achieved by us creating scenarios that cause both attackers and defenders to funnel into one final fight location. We have seen feedback that our community would like us to try and do less of this and instead end with something more open. We have experimented with this already, and the final part of Kessel and extraction mode is a good example. For Geonosis, we are looking to take it a step further. The final two phases are very open, which makes it ideal for vehicular-based combat, and it gives its own identity and gameplay experience that is different from what is currently available within Galactic Assault. So that's really good news. I'm very excited that they started this article by addressing that major issue because, when you play maps like Camino or Theed, that last phase is always the most difficult and it's always the most chaotic. And I'm really excited to see that they are addressing this issue right at the forefront of this article. So I really hope that, this translates into a really good gameplay experience on Geonosis. Now, they go on to talk about the ATTE, and you can see the walking animation here that I mentioned earlier, and it looks amazing, guys. The ATTE looks awesome right here. I cannot wait to play with the ATTE on Geonosis, but let's talk about this right here. It says the centerpiece of Geonosis is the ATTE. This six-legged armored walker is fully controllable and plays a vital role on the battlefront. One of the key differences between the ATTE and any other vehicle in the game is that they are dynamically dropped in real time into the playable space as the battle goes on. This creates a lot of interesting scenarios, and we are excited to see how this plays out once Geonosis arrives later this month. What this also means is that you will not be able to pick the ATTE from the spawn screen. You will encounter them within the environment itself. One might be dropped in just ahead of you, or you might turn a corner to see one ready and waiting for you to jump in. So that is so cool. So instead of, using the spawn screen like other reinforcements, you'll just get into the ATTE, and I'm so excited to see them go back to this old method of accessing vehicles, and it's never been done before where an ATTE drops into the Battlefront, at least to my knowledge. I don't think they did that in the original Battlefront games, and I'm really excited about this for the ATTE. And let me know what you think about this in the comments below. How do you feel, about not spawning with the ATTE in the spawn screen, but instead accessing it in real time on the battlefront? I love this change, and I hope they continue pushing this moving forward with more vehicles. Now, let's move on to what this says about Phase 1 of Geonosis. So, it says reactivate a damaged ATTE. So it says the first phase is very much focused on infantry combat, with the clones needing to call in reinforcements and reactivate a damaged ATTE. During this phase, the objective of the droids is to stop them. This phase will take place in typical Geonosian canyons with plenty of pathways and cover available. So I'm really glad to hear that there's going to be plenty of pathways and cover available on Geonosis, at least on this phase, because, I was really worried that Geonosis would be like a map catering only to snipers. So this is really good to hear. Now it says Phase 2 is the hard cell troop transport. It says the second phase marks the shift from infantry to vehicular combat. With vehicles now coming into play, the tight canyons will give way to a vast battlefront, meaning a change in tactics and gameplay will be required. The objective during this phase is to bring down or defend, depending on your team, 2 hard cell troop transports. Mechanically and gameplay-wise, this objective is a mixture of the destroy objective as seen on Crate with the generators, and walkers. The hard cell troop transports are static objects. Sorry, that was kind of a run-on sentence, but it says the hard cell troop transports are static objects that the clones need to destroy before they run out of tickets. And then it finally wraps up Phase 2 by saying, however, they need to be weakened before serious damage can be dealt to them, similarly to walkers, and this can be achieved by using the special ability of the ATTEs. This ties into the overarching theme of Geonosis of the ATTEs being the cornerstone of the battle. So the ATTEs, again, are going to be the main, basically, focal point of Geonosis in Galactic Assault, which is going to be really cool because these ATTEs, they are monsters on the battlefront, and I cannot wait to see them in action once again. And then, of course, there's this work in progress image of Geonosis as well, and it kind of shows you, the layout of the map here. And this part is, I think this is the wide open section. I'm guessing this might be Phase 2. We'll have to see, but it looks really cool. I know it's kind of a work in progress image here, and I really hope we see more, of course, here in the coming days or weeks. Now, Phase 3 is securing the turbo laser. So it says the third phase is an all-out attack by the clones. Their goal is to recapture some abandoned turbo lasers to take down the droid core ship. And during this phase, the droids must do everything they can to defend the turbo lasers, or loss will be imminent. And then it goes on to say, gameplay-wise, this is a capture point, but with a twist. As noted earlier, we didn't want to create a narrow funnel towards the end of this battle, so this capture point is actually around 200 meters wide. You may be inclined to think that this could turn into an infinitely contested objective, and to prevent this from occurring, the capture point can only be captured by the ATTEs. In addition to this, the capture can't be contested. And then it says, this creates a scenario where the clones know that they need to escort their ATTs into the area so they can capture it. At the same time, the droids can see the slow-moving giants approach from a distance and plan accordingly. The intent here is to create the feeling of a battle where the game is not won or lost by a single person sneaking in and taking an objective. Rather, it's an entire army moving forward and playing the objective together. So that sounds awesome. You know, I'm very, very excited for this, especially hearing that they've really taken the community feedback for that last objective, because as you guys know, like on Camino and on Theed, the last objective is always the most chaotic. It's always one that has that stalemate where it goes into overtime way too long, and it just doesn't feel right. So I'm really excited to see that they are, you know, listening to our feedback and looking at this in a good way by including something that's more wide open, where we can go in there with our ATTEs, and it's a different way to capture the objective, because as I mentioned before, you'll be using the ATTEs this time around to capture that objective. So how cool is that? How cool is that? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm so excited I can hardly talk about it, but I'm really excited to see how this all turns out on Geonosis, and trust me, we'll have footage of this when it releases, and I'm very, very excited to finally have the chance to play it when it releases on November 28th. Now, let's move on to what it says about the ATTs in more detail. So it does say ATTEs as reinforcements, and then the article goes on to say this. It says, with the difference in objectives coming into play, we had to change up the way reinforcements work. Usually one reinforcement equals one trooper. However, for the second and third phases, one reinforcement will equal one ATTE. This means that dying as a clone trooper, what does it say here? It says, this means that dying as a clone trooper during these phases won't drain your team's tickets. A transition from trooper reinforcements to ATT reinforcements happens between phase 1 and 2. So that's interesting there. So keep in mind that ATTEs will be considered the reinforcement that drains your ticket, if you will, or the bar at the top in phase 2 and 3, I'm guessing. So it says the transition from trooper reinforcements from trooper to ATTE happens between phase 1 and 2. So keep that in mind. Now, it goes on to say, to give all droids a chance to help, we use missile launchers as seen in all other Walker phases in a slightly different way. There will be more of these available, the range much longer than normal, and the lock-on time very short. In addition to this, droids won't be marked while holding the launcher by the other team. However, they won't make the ATTE weakened. Instead, they just deal damage. So there's a slight difference in the way the launchers will work against the ATTs in this mode. And I think these changes will be nice because it's going to give the droids a fair chance in fighting against these monsters walking across the battlefront. So I think it's a good change. Now, here's some big news for you guys. The next paragraphs go on to say Geonosis sandstorm. So it says fighting through a dense sandstorm is one of the most iconic scenes from Geonosis and something we really wanted to recreate. The sandstorm will occur during the transition from phase 2 to 3 when the final hard cell troop transport has been destroyed. While fighting through the sandstorm, visibility is heavily reduced, and even though you are fighting in a completely open area, you feel like it's close range gameplay. Running through the storm with blaster bolts flying everywhere is a great experience and definitely something which adds to the unique gameplay experience that Geonosis will offer. So I'm really, really excited for it. There's so much stuff to be excited about from Geonosis so far, and this is definitely one of them. You know, we've been talking about how we want to see dynamic weather effects come into play in their maps. And it's really cool to see them introducing a sandstorm on Geonosis when you transition from phase 2 to 3. So I cannot wait to see this. Plus, it's going to really limit snipers from dominating the battlefront as well. So this is the perfect answer to preventing snipers from just, overthrowing everyone on the battlefront. Now, let's talk about this. The OG9 Spider Droid. So here's the picture of the OG9 Spider Droid. And I'll read off what it says about the Spider Droid. So it says, as the clones fight their way towards the turbo lasers, they will have to clear out quite a few homing Spider Droids. These droids will deal significant damage to both ATTs and troopers if not taken care of. Their presence means that the ATTs can't just blindly keep walking forward towards the next objective. Now, it does not say if these spider droids are player controlled or if the droids will be able to get inside one and, control them. It simply says the clones will be facing off against them during the course of the battle. So, at least the clones will get to face off, but I'm really hoping that the Separatists do get to actually control these spider droids. We'll see. I'll let you guys know in the comments down below if I find any more details about this, if they are controllable by the Separatists. But it doesn't really say that in this article, which is kind of disappointing, of course. So I'll keep you guys updated on that once I find out any details. Now, it goes on to go into a lot of details about the design process, behind the Battle of Geonosis. So I'll read off these next paragraphs to wrap up this video, guys. And again, this is a long video because there's so much detail in this article. Now, it says the design process. So it says creating a new planet always brings its own set of challenges, and Geonosis was no different. The main challenge for us was around the ATTs. We wanted the ATT to be needed to succeed to create more team play and focus the fight around these six-legged giants. However, what happens if people don't know how to weaken the heart cells or don't move forward during phase 3? Our user interface and voice-over lines play a vital role here. It's something we have worked on a lot already and are still working on ahead of its release. Looking at from the droid's perspective, the same thing could happen. If no one is trying to take down the ATTs, then it will probably be an easy victory for the clones. And while we have been playing Geonosis ourselves, we can never know for sure how battles will play out until it's released. Players will always find ways to play across planets in ways that we hadn't thought of, but we will certainly be paying close attention and will adapt it if things aren't working as well as they should. This is amplified somewhat by the change in gameplay compared to our other galactic assault planets. However, we feel that changing the gameplay like this will add more value for our players than just making another classic Walker phase. So it's cool to hear that they are taking a new direction with Galactic Assault, not just doing the standard thing. And again, they are taking our feedback by, fixing that last phase, or at least that's what we're hoping in this case. We'll have to see how it all ends up, guys, when we actually play it. I'm hoping it ends up awesome, so we'll see. Now, it goes on to say Geonosis will release later this month alongside the Battle of Geonosis update. We've got more to talk about, starting with vehicles and then on to Obi-Wan Kenobi himself. As always, please do leave your feedback in the comment threads below. We look forward to deploying onto Geonosis with you this month. And it says, but one last thing before we sign off, we thought we'd give you a behind-the-scenes glimpse of some work-in-progress shots of Obi-Wan. And again, this is what I showed you earlier of the Obi-Wan animation in action. And again, he looks so cool here. Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favorite Jedi in all of Star Wars, so I am excited that he is coming to the game. And, we've been waiting forever for him to come to the game. So finally, guys, it's happening on November 28th. And then, of course, we got this glimpse at his Jedi robe skin. And let me know which one is your favorite, his Jedi robe outfit or this outfit right here. Let me know in the comments below. And we have so much more to talk about, guys, as we near Geonosis release on November 28th. So make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and stay tuned for all of this cool stuff coming up. But guys, that does it for this video. I will see you next time, and may the Force be with you always.